This video is to help you complete the M&M's pie chart activity. You'll need to begin by getting a bag of M&M's from your teacher or from your substitute, and then you will need to open those M&M's and divide them into different color groups. Then from Canvas, you should download the M&M's.XLSX spreadsheet, and you'll open it up, and this is what you should see. We have the title M&M's, our colors, and we just have to add the totals for all of our colors. So go ahead and pause for just a second and count up all of your M&M's so that you know how many you have of each color. Now that you have them counted up, you'll go ahead and key in the amount that you have in each of your different colors. Now what we're going to do is add a totals row to the bottom of this, and go ahead and do a sum. Pardon me. And then go ahead and center your total, and then of course we want to add our top and double bottom border to our totals row. Okay, so my bag of M&M's had 60 M&M's total. Now I want to create a pie chart that illustrates the total number I have of each M&M. So to do that, I'm going to start by highlighting the names that will be associated with each piece of pie, and then I'll hold down Control and highlight the numbers that will go with those pieces. Now on this one, they're right next to each other, so we could just highlight them all in one chunk, or we can do the Control and highlight them separately. We are not going to include the totals row when we create our pie chart. Next, we'll go to the Insert tab, and in the Charts group, we're going to click on Pie. Then for this one, we are going to just create a 2D pie chart, so choose the very first one. And that gives us this nice big chart here. Now, to begin with, it puts your chart right on top of your spreadsheet. We want to go ahead and change the location of our chart. When you create a chart, it gives you a new set of tabs across the top. They are labeled with the words Chart Tools. You have a Design tab, Layout, and Format. Be sure you're on Chart Tools Design, and then you're going to go all the way to the end to the Location group, where you have one button called Move Chart. We'll click on that button and choose New Sheet. Then we'll change the name of this sheet, and we will call it M&M Pie Chart. And then we'll click on OK. Now we see that across the bottom where your tabs are, you have M&M Pie Chart, Sheet 1, Sheet 2, Sheet 3. If we click on Sheet 1, it takes us back to the data. And then of course our pie chart is the new sheet that's been added to the beginning. So here we have our pieces of pie, and then here we have our legend that tells us what each piece of pie represents. Now right now this one is blue, and that's accurate. Then this one is called brown, green, orange, red, and yellow. You can see that our pieces of pie do not match up with the color of M&M that they represent. We will fix that in just a second. Before we do that, we want to add some elements to our chart to make it a little bit easier to read. The first thing we want to do is add a title across the top of our chart. To do that, we're going to go to Chart Tools Layout, and then in the Labels group, you'll see a Chart Title button. We will click on Chart Title, and then we will choose Above Chart. And that gives us a text placeholder there at the top. Now we're going to highlight the text that was keyed in there, and instead we are going to type in M&M's color, oh, just M&Ms. And then we want to add a subheading. Now, there is no such thing as a subheading or a subtitle in a chart. So what we'll do is we will press enter. That takes us on the line below. And we're going to type in our subheading on the line below. And we're going to type in color analysis. Now, the rules would be that our main heading is in all caps, cap lock, and then our subheading would be in initial case. We also need to change the formatting. What we're going to do for charts is we're going to say that our main heading, so the top row, we're going to have it be 18-point bold and in all caps. Our subheading, we want to change to 12-point and remove the bold. Okay, so when we click off of that, we can see that we have M&Ms, larger and bold, and color analysis in initial case, no bold, and it is 12-point. Now we're going to add data labels. What data labels are is where we show a number either on the piece of pie or next to the piece of pie that tells us either the percent or the actual number that goes with that. Now, to add our data labels, you are going to click one time on your pie chart to select the whole thing, and you'll see selection handles on all of it. If by some chance I click on it a second time, notice that only the orange piece is selected now. So I would have to click on the white space outside of my piece of pie and then come back and click on it one time to select the whole thing. To add data labels, we make sure we're on the Chart Tools Layout tab in the Labels group, and we'll go to the Data Labels button. And what we are going to choose is a label that is on the inside end of our piece of pie. And when we choose that, there you can see those numbers. Now they are a little bit smaller, so let's change the font on those. Just click on one number, and that will select all of them. And then we'll go to our Home tab, to the font group, and let's make those 14 points so they're a little bit bigger and easier to read. Now we are going to add a header to our chart. To do that, we go to the Insert tab, and then we go to the Header and Footer group. Now things are a little different when we're working with the chart. Instead of going right up into the header, it gives us this header dialog box, or the page setup dialog box. We're on the Header and Footer tab. We are going to click on Custom Header. That splits our header into 3 sections. In the left, we're going to key in our name. In the center, we're going to put our class period. And at the right, we want the file name. Now we do have a button here that is Insert File Name. We just don't have the text that goes with it. It's just the icon itself. We'll click on that, and it will add the file name for us. Then we can click on OK. And then go ahead and click on OK again. Now we won't see our header unless we do a print preview. If I go to print preview, there's my header going across the top of my chart. We are not going to print this, and we are not finished, so we want to go back to our Chart Tools layout. We just wanted to make sure our header showed up. Now our next job with this chart is to change the color of each piece of pie to match the color of M&M that is represented by it. Now we want these colors to match our M&Ms pretty close. So what we're going to do is we're going to click on the blue piece of pie. Now that selects the whole pie chart. You'll click on it a second time and it will select everything. Now to change the color of this piece of pie, you are going to go to the Chart Tools Format tab, and we're going to go to the Shape Styles group, and you'll see a Shape Fill button. We'll go to the drop down, and we are going to go into More Fill Colors. This is where we can be more specific about our colors. Now we can start by choosing a color that we think is pretty close to our blue M&M, but this is a little bit too dark. So I can go to the Custom tab here, and I can darken it. This little slider here will darken. We can look at the preview down here. Maybe I don't like the area of blue that I'm using, so I can actually click and drag around this area as well to find a more appropriate color. Also, if you see that your neighbor has a good color, you can ask them, what are your colors? And if they go to this custom tab, they can tell you their red value, their green value, and their blue value, and you can key those in to match their color. So take a minute and see if you can get those blues as close to the color of your blue M&M as you can. Then you'll move on and you'll go to the brown piece. And you'll go into the shape fill, and you're going to go into more fill colors and see if you can find a brown to match it. Now I like this brown, but I want to make it a little bit darker because those brown M&Ms are pretty dark. Okay, you're going to continue on and set the colors of all of your M&M pie pieces. Make sure you pay attention to the color names on the legend to get the right color, because just because this one is purple does not mean I have a purple M&M. Okay, once you have your M&M colors, or your pieces of pie matching your M&M colors, we no longer need the legend that's here at the side. To get rid of that, you can go to the Chart Tools Layout tab, and in the Labels group there's a legend button. You can click on that and choose None. That will remove the legend from your pie chart. Now we're going to save this by going to File and Save As. Be sure you change to your student folder in your computer tech folder, your Excel folder, and make sure this is called M&Ms. Then you're going to go ahead and convert this to a PDF. Now when we convert this to a PDF, make sure you are on your pie chart tab, and it will convert only the pie chart to a PDF. So we'll go to File, Save and Send, Create PDF, and we'll go ahead and name our PDF M&M's Pie Chart, because this is only going to show our pie chart. And when we see our preview, there's our pie chart, and we don't have any other pages. Okay, and we should have our name, our class period, our file name, and of course the M&M pie chart with the pieces of pie changed to the correct colors. Alright, you should be ready to submit this to Canvas.